is really German language important when someone comes here as an expat?
So in that case, I would say, if we look at how it was maybe 8 to 10 years ago, it wasn't that important. If you look at the job
Mm-hmm.
markets, or from a job perspective, it was still easier
Mm-hmm.
to get by with English.
Mm-hmm.
But now, if you look at, mainly the job requirements, and everyone requires a significant level of German, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now when it comes to levels, it's not only whether it's like a B1 or B2, but mainly that you should be able to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Even when it comes to surviving locally, you have that confidence that, okay, if I know the language, I am going to be able to do everything. So there are no obstacles that you come across if you know the language. So life, I would say, definitely becomes easier, much
Okay.
more.
You say that German language is very important in integrating into German society. One of the important thing that most of us as students, when learning German language, get to hear is that German is really a hard language to learn.
Yeah.
Do you think it's true, or what is your opinion on this?
Mm, so again, when it comes to any language,
Mm-hmm.
I would say it's a perspective how people, look at it.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say we compare German with English,
Mm-hmm.
then maybe, yeah, we could say that, the grammar is a little bit harder
Mm-hmm.
because it's being compared to English.
Mm-hmm.
But let's say you compare it with any other language, saying, Mandarin, like Chinese or Japanese,
Mm-hmm.
which has a completely different script, then German is
Mm-hmm.
definitely easier, right? So when you look at it with that perspective, then it becomes more of easy or difficult.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, I mean, it's just any language is going to take time
Mm-hmm.
to be learned, to get fluent with it. So I won't really, define it as difficult or easy
Mm-hmm.
in terms of that. Yeah.
But what kind of challenges do students face when learning the language? What have you seen in the students?
So I think that, sometimes students come with a very preconceived
Mm-hmm.
thing that, they hear it from somewhere, or there are people telling them that, okay, grammar is something, or
Mm-hmm.
we might have heard, right, these accusative, dative, and that is
Mm-hmm.
what everyone's so obsessed about. But I think the language is not only about grammar, right? Like, yes, grammar is important, but it's not everything in the language. So I think that is where the students are stuck on that. Okay, if we don't know accusative, if we don't understand dative, then we are not going to be able to do the language.
Okay, so according to you, when as a student, I think everyone gets to listen opinion from other students usually, and not from teachers
Yeah.
at the starting point.
Yeah.
So, how should ideally a student face this challenge?
So I would say, like, just before starting your journey, just come in with the mindset of just learning a language
Mm-hmm.
without having to, translate it from any other language, or, trying to find logic in each and every minute thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's say now, for example, our mother tongues
Mm-hmm.
that we grew up with, like, right, we say, now I ask you something and you'll be like, okay, I don't know this, why?
Mm-hmm.
It's just like that, because that is how I heard it growing up. So even there are certain things when it comes to German which you just have to remember. There is no logic to that. So that is, I think, what I feel, that students should come with that mindset of, okay, this is a language I'm going to learn, without translating it from English, or without having to translate it into any other language.
Yeah, initially when I started learning German, this was also a challenge that, and teacher always used to say that never translate it from one to another.
Correct.
Now I understand it why.
Yeah.
But another thing that my teacher always told me is that you don't stop learning a language. At some point, if there is a good continuity, you will be able to speak fluently.
Correct.
And personally, what I felt is it takes around like 3 to 4 years to be fluent in a language.
Yeah.
If you study it for enough amount of time, and
Yeah.
also have native speakers in and around you, or fluent speakers in and around you. But also, I know my friends, colleagues sometimes who say, okay, I want it quicker, I don't have enough time, and there are not many people who believe in this process and say, okay, I want the certificate.